It was about 8:30 p.m. I had just put all my children to sleep and got off the internet with my husband who was in Iraq at the time. He was getting ready to come home on emergency leave due to my illness. I had said my goodbyes and told him that I wasn't feeling good. He then told me to get some rest. About 5 minutes after I left my computer, I felt dizzy and started getting lightheaded, so I went to the restroom and started a hot bath. That is what I usually did when I felt that way. I had had several surgeries that year and had many infections. So the feeling wasn't new to me. I got into the bathtub and started splashing my face with water. When I took my hand away from my face, all I saw were people. I pushed my way through the people and grabbed the phone that was in my room. I must have only pushed redial. I couldn't see the floor of my room, only many people. I remember thinking that I didn't want to die yet. I kept on saying, no, I can't go now. I haven't seen my mom yet. When my mom and stepdad showed up, I don't remember going down the stairs or how my mom saw me when she got here. I came to, I guess, when I saw my stepdad. I remember them both carrying me to the car. On the way to the hospital, I remember going in and out and my mom saying, Shelly. I also remember the two ladies that were in my house, whom I didn't know. But when the people showed up in my house, I felt like I knew some of them, but most of them I didn't know. Two of the ladies were in my mom's car. They didn't say a word, just looked at me when I looked at them. I was scared when I saw them in the house, but I remembered that in the car I wasn't scared. I felt comfort. When we got to the ER and the nurse took my blood pressure, she rushed me back to the ER room and called the doc. There were nurses and doctors everywhere. They started to ask me questions. I remember answering but not being heard. No one could hear me, and I was screaming the answers. I remember getting very mad because no one could hear me. I remember hearing the doctor saying I don't think she is here, and I remember saying I'm here. As they cut my clothes off, I really remember one nurse saying, "Doctor, she's going into cardiac arrest." Right when she said that, I saw my lifeless body lying on the ER bed and my mom in a chair, crying in shock. Behind me became bright and I saw a hand. I turned around and looked at myself and didn't turn back around. That hand touched my shoulder. When I saw what was going on in the ER and saw myself, I panicked and started pleading to God, to whomever that touched me, let me go back, please let me come back. I have children and a husband that need me. No, not now, God. Please, not now. My husband is on his way home, he knows I'm sick and he's coming home from Iraq. Please, not now. Even though I felt peace, comfort, and complete love behind me and around me, I didn't want to go. The next thing I saw was the room become bright, and the light behind me was even brighter. I remember turning around crying, and I asked, one more time, please, Lord, not now. The next thing I knew, I was inside my body again. I looked up and saw the defibrillator above. I opened my mouth and said, "Are you the plumber that's going to fix the pipes in my basement? I'm glad you showed up. Let me show you the problem." The doctors and nurses looked at me like I was crazy, like when you look at someone in disbelief. The doctor put down the defibrillators, shined the light into my eyes, and checked me out for about 5 minutes. I turned to my mom and said, "I love you." And I started to cry. The doctor walked out, and after about 15 to 20 minutes of sitting there, the nurse came back in and said that the doctor would not be returning because he was shaken up about what just happened. She handed me my discharge papers and said, "The Lord must have been with you because we all thought you were a goner." I looked at the discharge paper, and the doctor had put down severe unexplained weakness. Leaving the ER room, I was still dizzy and unbalanced. My mother and I drove home. I remember my mom asking me why was I looking towards the back seat so much. I said nothing, but I was looking for those two ladies. I got back home and looked in on each of my children and kissed each one. My husband got back from Iraq 3 days later. I had another surgery 2 days after that to take out the damaged infected tissue in my stomach and spine. Another 2 weeks after my surgery, my husband had to return to Iraq. My children and I waited another 5 months for my husband to come home. Since my NDE, my life has changed so much. I take nothing for granted. It took me right until my husband was going to leave for Iraq to finally tell him about what happened to me. I don't speak about this to many, only the ones I'm close to because of the fear of them looking at me as a crazy person.